Hello YouTubers, this is Cessnaace back again with another video concentrating on the LaserDisc format. Yesterday I went out to Yesterday and Today to pick up 4 box sets of LaserDisc that Bill was holding for me, and also to pick up 2 vinyl LPs that he was holding for me, and I picked up the box sets and I picked up the LPs and I paid for all that stuff right then and there. And then I went around to look through his LaserDisc to pick up more. I wound up picking up 20 more. Now you have to either be on your knees or on your rear when you go through his LaserDiscs, because they're down at floor level in crates, so they're not on the floor. But the crates are on the floor, so real down low, and as I mentioned in my previous video, if you don't know they're there, you won't see them. Anyway, I was going through them and a guy came in and he walked right up to me and he said, "I'm your competition." He then proceeded to sit down and started going through LaserDisc. About that time Bill came around and he said, "Allow me to introduce each of you to the other." He pointed at me and he said, "This is LaserDisc customer 1. This is LaserDisc customer 2. I'm sorry, but LaserDisc customer 3 could not be here today." His sense of humor. There are 3 LaserDisc purchasers that are his main LaserDisc purchasers, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Out. The first box set I'm going to show you is for the African Queen. And you might be asking yourself, well, how much did you have to pay for that? And my answer would be 0. Nada. Zip. Nothing. It was free. Not one thin dime. Okay, I'll stop now. Now, when I went to the LaserDisc database to enter everything in, I did research on all 4 of these box sets. This was released by CBS Fox Video, catalog reference number 5901-80. It was released on the 15th of December 1993, retailed for $69.98, and was made by Mitsubishi. I've had a lot of good luck with Mitsubishi. This box set was a US exclusive. I also looked up the African Queen and found 7 LaserDisc releases. Well, I should say 7 known LaserDisc releases, because they're adding releases to the database all the time. In a typical 2-week period, Julian, the administrator, adds about 20 VHD titles and about 80 LaserDisc titles. Although sometimes there'll be the odd HD DVD release added, or even the odd CED release added. I have found a couple myself that were not in the database, and that kind of freaked me out. But in any event, there are 7 known releases at the moment for the African Queen on LaserDisc. 4 were US releases and 3 were Japanese releases. This was also released twice, this movie I should say, on the CED format. Once in the US, once in the UK. And it was given 1 VHD release in Japan. Although that could change, because he keeps adding 20 or so VHD titles every 2 weeks or so. Open this bad boy up. First of all, the film itself and its own jacket. This could theoretically have been released separately. I don't know. just a hunch, but there's that part up there, so maybe not. Sometimes Fox use the CBS Fox Video logo, sometimes the Fox Video logo, and sometimes they use both. Just to confuse everybody. That's the reason. It also has a reprinting of the original screenplay. The spine is not cracked, so I'm trying my best not to open it so far as to crack the spine. That's cool. It also came with reproductions of original lobby cards that were used when the film was first released. These are suitable for framing, but I'm not going to do so. I'm going to keep them with this box. Typically, this box set sells on eBay for around $50. So I appreciate the fact that Bill gave it to me for nothing. Also included is a copy of the hardcover book, The Making of the African Queen, or How I Went to Africa with Bogart, Bacall, and Houston and Almost Lost My Mind by Katharine Hepburn. And there are a lot of cool photos in here. That's the one I was looking for. As I said, doing my best to not crack the spine. Anyway, there's that. It has nice foam inserts to keep everything in place. Okay, moving on to the second box set that I picked up. The Lion King. Okay, released by Walt Disney Home Video. This catalog reference number 4613CS, released on the 20th of September 1995. Retail price $124.99. I got it for $15. Made by Pioneer USA. It was also released in Japan with a list price of 15,000 yen, made by Pioneer Japan. Now, The Lion King has had, so far, discovered, 8 LaserDisc releases, 2 in the US, 1 in Germany, 1 in France, 1 in Hong Kong, and 3 in Japan. First up, there's this little gem, which is still in its shrink wrap, and Bill said it was barely opened. Apparently the previous owner had only opened it enough to see that the contents were in there, and he didn't open it any further. But Bill said he went ahead and opened it further because he wanted to see what he could see. And of course, it's not wanting to come out. Try this. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay, what do we got here? Well, Disney had a habit of offering lithographs on some of their releases, and also included lithographs with some of their box sets. Used to be, whenever we would go into the Disney store, way back when, if a new LaserDisc release of one of their animated titles was coming out, if you went to the Disney store and pre-ordered it, you got a free lithograph. Now, my wife doesn't particularly care for these lithographs. She says the other ones we have are better, but they are suitable for framing, although I'm not going to do that. But now you know why film buffs collect the LaserDisc format. Try getting this lithograph in a DVD case. It's not going to happen. Okay. There's that part. More to come in this box set. First up, the film itself. This is letterboxed in CAV. and is THX certified. Also has AC3 Dolby Digital, which was an early forerunner of Dolby 5.1. In order to be able to access the AC3 Dolby Digital, you have to have a player that can handle AC3. I've got two players that handle AC3. What AC3 did was it used the two digital tracks and then one of the analog tracks, and to put the added information in. So anyway, that was cool. Dolby 5.1 got its start with the LaserDisc format, although it was called AC3 Dolby Digital. And THX started with the LaserDisc format. Originally, the THX program was called the THX LaserDisc program. Now, the digital tracks have the stereo soundtrack. Analog track 1 has running commentary with the producer and directors, and or director. And the other analog channel has the AC3 Dolby Digital information. And a gatefold jacket. The spine has not yet been cracked, so I'm not going to open it wide enough to crack it. Let's see here. There are 27 chapters of the film. And then there are 2 discs in CAV mode that have the extras. First of all, you have the making of The Lion King, and they pick up the chapter marks where they left off. The first chapter mark on this disc is chapter 28, program start. And then you have the story, the characters and their voices, a king's domain, research and design, more than meets the eye, the animation process, wounded pride, Scar, the music of The Lion King, and then chapter 35 is the conclusion. And then there are the 2 supplemental discs, which are also in CAV, if I didn't mention that already. Chapter 36 is program start. Then you have table of contents for sides 6, 7, and 8. History and development of the Lion King story. Sequence breakdown and storyboards introduction. Storyboard pitch, The Reflecting Pool, Mufasa's Ghost. Storyboards, sequence 1, Circle of Life. Storyboards, sequence 4.2, I Just Can't Wait to Be King. Storyboards, sequence 10, The Stampede, Mufasa's Death. Storyboards, sequence 16, The Reflecting Pool, Mufasa's Ghost. Storyboards, sequence 19, The Fight. And storyboards to film comparison, Circle of Life, is chapter 46. Then, chapter 47, music. And I'm not totally sure how they do that yet. Probably what they did was they had the music track running while they ran chapters 48 through 58, which are characters design and introduction, Character designs Mufasa, character designs Simba, character designs Scar, character designs Rafiki, character designs Timon and Pumbaa, character designs Zazu, character designs Hyenas, Shinzi, Banzai, and Ed, character designs Nala, character designs Saraba and Female Lions, and character designs Miscellaneous. Then Disc 4, Side 7, Chapter 59, Table of Contents for Side 7, Preliminary Designs and Early Concepts, Simba's Presentation, Early Concept, Timon and Pumbaa Find Simba, Early Concept Warthog Rhapsody, Early Concept Hakuna Matata, Timon's Verse, Early Concept Bug Football, Early Concept Be Prepared Reprise, Early Concepts Can You Feel the Love Tonight, Early Concept Simba Decides to Return, Early Concept The Fight, and Chapter 70 is Art Design, Layouts, and Backgrounds. Then on the other side, Side 8, you start off with Chapter 71, Table of Contents for Side 8, Animation, Analog Track 1, Commentary by Randy Fulmer, Analog Track 2, Dialogue and Effects only. Then, of course, the digital tracks have the soundtrack. Chapter 73, Computer Animation, Chapter 74, Publicity and International Versions, and Chapter 75, Credits. Running time, Side 5, 27 minutes, Side 6, 29 minutes, Side 7, 28 minutes, Side 8, 30 minutes. That's all that information I just read off. I already had 6 box sets. With these 4 that I've added, I now have 10. As I said, this was also released in Japan for the enormous sum of 15,000 yen. Roughly, I think, about $150. In the US, it was $129.99. Okay, next up, Toy Story Deluxe Edition. Okay, this is Walt Disney Home Video Release 8847 CS, released on the 18th of December 1996, retailed for $124.99, made by Kure. I have never, ever even heard of a defective Kure disc, and they made a lot of discs. So, a shame that they didn't share their secret recipe with the rest of the LaserDisc manufacturing community. Anyway, made by Kure. This box set is a US exclusive. Only on this LaserDisc release will you find the THX Tex trailer, whatever that is, and shorts that are exclusive to this. Toy Story had 9 LaserDisc releases, at least discovered so far. 3 in the US, 2 in Japan, 2 in the UK, 1 in France, and 1 in Germany. Sorry, I should have said France. 1 in France. First of all, you have the film in its own jacket. THX certified release. Now this is something I have never ever run across with a LaserDisc release. It has an audio commentary track, and not only does it list the people who provide the commentary, it has a picture of each one. I have never ever seen that. I haven't seen it with DVDs either. They picture everyone who provides commentary. But it's cool. Okay, if I can get this out. We have 2 discs of extras in CAV mode. Apparently, the first side is in CLV, side 6 is in CAV, I can't hold it up and look at the same time. I can see that side 8 is CAV, as is side 7. Really, really cool. They have, for example, concepts for abandoned sequences. Alternate Western shootout opening, abandoned concept Woody's Nightmare, abandoned concept Eastern Gate scene, abandoned concept Shakes the Rattle, abandoned concept Sid's Comeuppance alternate version, abandoned concept The Chase alternate version, and on and on and on. Includes deleted animation and outtakes, publicity and marketing. Anyway, there are a total of 59 chapter marks, and even the audio commentary track has its own chapters, which is really cool. of the art of Toy Story. How can I do this? There's that. "3D lenticular artwork." Holding up to the camera, it probably didn't look 3D, but with the naked eye, it's 3D. No glasses required. Whoops. It's only loosely in that frame. I guess so that if you want to put it in your own frame, you wouldn't have to damage the original frame to do it. That's just a theory on my part. Okay, and finally, I have this bad boy. The Ultimate Oz. Now, when I did the search for this release, I didn't search under catalog reference number or anything like that. I searched under Ultimate Oz and found that there were 3 releases of Ultimate Oz, 2 in the US. This one is released ML104755, but it was also released as ML103990, and it was released in Japan. Both of the US releases were manufactured by Pioneer USA. The Japanese release was manufactured by Pioneer Japan. For The Wizard of Oz, just by itself, there have been 15 known LaserDisc releases, 10 in the US and 5 in Japan. There have been 3 CED releases, 2 in the US, 1 in the UK, and 1 VHD release. Now, I compared the 2 US releases and their extras. I went over it bit by bit, and I couldn't tell any difference. So I don't know why there were 2 US releases. They have a release date for the second one, which I didn't write down, but not for this one, although it has an earlier number, so this is probably the one that came second. Here is a supplements disc. The Making of a Movie Classic, hosted by Angela Lansbury, plus additional supplementary material. It says here, multi-audio, digital track left, program soundtrack, digital track right, music, isolated, and analog tracks left and right, music. Now, in addition to the documentary, it includes Judy Garland's deleted Over the Rainbow reprise sung in the Witch's Castle, audio recording with stills. Ray Bolger's Scarecrow dance sequence, directed by Busby Berkeley, cut from the film. I've had that on other LaserDisc releases that I've had, and I have it on one of the DVD releases I have. This I don't have. Now, there was a production number in the film that they spent weeks and weeks rehearsing. But and they filmed it. But in the end, they cut it. And that's the jitterbug sequence. In fact, there's still a reference to it in the final film, where she sends out the Wicked Witch, her flying wingmen, out, and she says something along the lines of, she won't give you any trouble. I've sent a little insect ahead to take the bite out of them, or the sting out of them, or something. But anyway, that references this sequence. But in previous versions that I've seen, they used home movie video footage of a different sequence when they were coming upon the or when they were at the Tin Man's house, the trees and everything, and stills, and they ran the soundtrack to that song to that. But this is different. This has dress rehearsal film and complete soundtrack of the Excise the Jitterbug production number. So I look forward to seeing that. First soundtrack recording of If I Only Had a Heart, sung by Buddy Epson, the original Tin Man. Newsreel footage of Judy Garland accepting her 1939 Oscar. Theatrical trailer, and much more. This is one of those titles that MGM takes great pains in preserving. Now, it has a guide to the feature and the supplemental disc. But for some reason, I got two. They're exactly the same, inside and out. Yes, you could tell I haven't gotten everything yet. A printing of the original continuity script. plus some really glossy photos. Have to put it in an angle, otherwise the glare, you wouldn't be able to see anything. A behind the scenes look. Okay, until next time, stay awesome.